Okay, here we go. Hey, I'm on. Yay. So finally got that figured out. I don't understand why that didn't work, but okay. Well, let's do some stretching. What I was trying to ask you earlier was if you have any input as far as like how long you'd like these videos to be. I can always do shorter ones, like the 20-minute ones, or even half an hour ones. Or do you like the live, like hour-long class? And the reason I'm doing this live is because if I try to do an hour-long live video and then try uploading it, it's so much to upload. So I'd prefer to just do it live. Anyway, I don't think anybody's found me yet. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay. So, we're just gonna do a combo today of random things. Chest opening is always good for me, and anything lower body is always good for me. So, that's what we're gonna do today. And we're gonna start just by sitting down on the mat. And if you need a block to do that, you'll probably need you will need a chair today. Um, so if you don't have a chair, go get one. And yeah, and maybe some blocks and a blanket. That's what you'll need today. Okay, we're gonna start on the mat. So if you need a block to sit on, go get your block. Otherwise, just sit in butterfly and sit up tall. We're gonna round the back, roll the shoulders forward, roll the head forward, and then puff the belly out. Pull the shoulder blades together and down. Inhale, exhale. Inhale and exhale. And then we're going to right into the groin stretch, the butterfly stretch. So bring the knees together. I like to put my palms up when I'm doing this, so I have a little bit of external rotation. But you can just put your palms together. And the knees are pulling together, the arms are pushing open. So you're opening, and now I'm going to let my legs win. My arms are still pressing out to the sides, and I'm closing. I'm going to round my upper back, drop my shoulders down away from my ears so I get a nice trap stretch. So open and close. I always find this is a nice, gentle, easy way to start when I've just gotten on my mat. Not to mention, I hold a lot of tension in my upper back, so this really helps undo some of that and makes me notice sometimes how tight I actually am. So I think of this as a groin stretch and an upper back stretch. And we're going to do a couple more. And then you're going to take your hands behind you. And we're going to go right into that TFL stretch. So I've crossed my left ankle over my right knee, and I'm going to knock my knee out to the side. This might be a stretch for you already, but if you can, try to press this knee down. And then we're going to come back up again. We're going to just do a few of these, rotating to the side, pressing down. And then we're going to stay and press and press, press, press. You may not be getting very far with this one. Just keep working on it. And then switch sides. So right leg, ankle crosses over left knee, Knock the knee out to the side and then press the right knee down and back up again. And then stay here. I get a lot more out of this stretch when I'm flexing my foot. So not this way, but this way. That way, if you just let your ankle go willy-nilly, then it kind of takes a lot of the stretch away. And maybe that's what you need. I don't know. But if you want to get more out of the stretch, then definitely flex the foot, both of them. And then we're going to go right into reverse tabletop. So hands behind you, puff the chest out. Your fingers can be out to the side if it's too much to put them forward. So puff the chest, lift the hips, and release. We're going to try to keep this chest puffed out. If your hips only go to here, that's fine. Just do what you can. Maybe they don't go up at all. We're aiming for about 8 to 12, something like that. Um, I've mentioned this in other videos. If you want to get more out of the stretch, imagine your fingers, your hands pulling forward toward your feet and your feet pulling toward your hands as you puff the chest. You get a little bit more out of that resistance wise. Okay. And then go ahead and grab your strap if you have a strap. If you don't, you can use a towel or band, one of those bands. And we're going to lift the strap up. Imagine pulling the strap apart. Give yourself a lot of room. Take the strap behind and then forward, behind, forward. You can actually open it up enough so that you're taking all the way behind and forward. And we're going to go up and we're going to tip to the left and tip to the right. And back over. And again. One more time each side. And release. We are going to take the right hand behind the back and pull it over with your left hand. Roll the shoulder back a few times. And then inch that hand up the back. Take your other hand up and over and try to touch the fingers. If you want to, take your strap with you, and that way you have something to grab. I'm always challenged to hook my fingers when I can. And let's take a few breaths here. If you are one of those that you find this really easy to do, um, here's a stretch for you. You can take a block and put it underneath your hand, and then finagle your hand up the block, and then the other arm up and over, and you'll probably definitely need a strap for that one. So it's just adding a little bit more stretch to the front of the right shoulder if you need that. I don't. And then we're going to take the left hand around behind the back, pull it over, roll the shoulder back a few times. And then walk the hand up the back, and right arm goes up and over, and try to reach and hook if you can, or use your strap. It's always a big surprise how tight I am when I do this one. Just take a few breaths. You can move your head around a little bit. And release. All right, we're going to grab the chair next. And if you don't have a chair with something that you can grab, like this folding chair, I can grab the sides of the chair, then I'll give you an option. But this is one of my favorite chest openers. I'm going to put a block underneath, and I'm going to sit on the block. I'm going to bring the chair up behind me. I'm going to hook my chest on it like that. I'm going to reach for the back of the chair. And I'm going to pull my body up with my arms and then release and keep holding onto the chair. Some of you might be able to get your hands way back here, down low. And if you don't have a chair with this type of a back, this is your alternative that you can do. I've got my elbows. I'm going to open this blanket up just a little bit. I've got my elbows on the chair, and you just palm together. Push your chest down and back up again. Both of these are wonderful, wonderful stretches for the chest and the lats. I'm feeling some stuff being stretched in my shoulder, like my delts as well. Triceps probably. Triceps especially if you push down and then take your thumbs to the back of your neck. So either way that you want to do this is fine. We're just opening up the thoracic spine a little bit. This is something that I think with all the yoga that I've done, I've really spent a lot of time doing this one, trying to get my upper back to curve the other way a little bit, because as you know, the upper back, its natural curve is it convex, I think? So my upper back normally would round like this, and trying to get it to go the opposite way, which you think the spine would not want to go that way because of the ribs being attached to the spine, but it's not true. We actually have quite a bit of back bending capability in our upper back. And when we open it up, after you do this, I mean, I used to sit here for 5 minutes when I was taking yoga lessons with my Iyengar teacher, and he would set a timer for about 5 minutes just sitting there. And one thing you realize when you come out of it is that it's easier to breathe. And when we start to round, our upper back starts to round with age and posture, you can lose up to 30% of your oxygen coming in and out of your lungs, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it is a lot. And that can actually affect your energy levels and your overall well-being. So it is important to, as you've been told since you were a child, sit up straight, to sit up straight. So that's a great one. And then from here, we're going to work into lower body. So you can put the chair away for a little bit. We'll get back to it very, very shortly. And I'm going to bring the mat out. I'm going to kneel on it, and I'm going to bring my right foot forward. We're going to do the hip flexor stretch. So scissor your inner thighs together. I don't know how many times I've taught this stretch, but it's still a good one for me. Tailbone under, so do the opposite of sticking your butt out, and the belly in and up. Shift forward and back. Whew, I am so tight here. It's chronic. And some people are only able to really just do a little bit of movement here, and that's okay. One of my resistance stretching teachers actually only recommends that we only go this far because he feels like if we go farther, I'm just going to lean forward and pull my belly forward. I'm trying not to do that, but for a lot of people, that's about as far as they can get their leg in extension. So just keep that in mind. You don't want to drop the belly forward and lean forward. We want to stay straight up and down if we can. And then I am going to take my hands behind my head and pull my shoulder blades together and push my head into my hands, shift forward, belly in. And if you can take a little back bend. Just move in and out of that. Or if you've got your chair behind you, you can hold on to the chair. That's another great stretch. Try them both. And we're not going to go right into anything else. We're not going to go into the hamstring just yet. We're going to wait for that. I'm going to turn it around and do the other side. Actually, I could still be here. Just bring the other foot forward. So scissor the inner thighs together, belly in, tailbone under, shift forward and back. I tricked you into doing a lot of those by doing all the hand stuff. Maybe I didn't trick you into anything. Maybe you're not watching or you're not doing any of it while you're watching. And that's okay too. Hopefully just by watching, I'm inspiring you to stretch. You're stretching mentally. You're thinking about stretching. And what do they say? You know, our thoughts sometimes make us do things. The thoughts turn into actions, right? I know sometimes when I think about things a lot, um, I'll start thinking about it subconsciously or dreaming about it. And then someday I'll just be like, I need to do this. I need to do this. Sometimes something about the visualization of doing things. And then all of a sudden you're like, okay, I'm doing this. And you've already figured out the movements in your mind, what you're going to do. All right, hands behind your head again. Pull the shoulder blades together and down. Press your head into the hands, belly in and up. Shift forward. And if you want to take a little back bend, you can. Or hands back on the chair, like I did before. Okay. We're going to come back on hands and knees. We're going to do a little lat stretch while we're here. So I'm going to take my right hand across and place it in front of my left hand. I'm pressing my right hand into the mat. I'm going to cat stretch, so round the back, and then pull my hips away. And I'm going to angle, start leaning into that right shoulder as I bring my shoulder down toward the mat. So use both arms to come back up again. Just come in and out of it. So this is lats. And then we're going to switch sides. So left hand in front of right, press the left hand into the mat, round the back, pull back, and take that left shoulder down. I start losing the cat stretch at the beginning because I don't know if I even really need it. That's just to intensify the stretch, is bringing that back into a rounded position. Okay, great. Then we're going to come all the way down to the mat. And I'm not sure you're going to be able to see me, so I'm going to move myself over to the wall a bit. We're going to come all the way down. I'm going to take my left arm out to the side and bend the elbow. So press the elbow and the hand into the mat. Turn your head to the right. Roll. I'm rolling in and out of it. So this is another pec stretch. And just work within your range of motion. Remember, don't do it if it hurts, and work within your range of motion. I've got a lot of injuries right now, so a lot of things hurt me to do. Like chaturanga right now is not good. I'm just trying to do what I can. And then stretch the arm out to the side. Press the palm into the mat, turn the head, and you get a really good bicep stretch here. We're going to do a couple more and then switch sides. You do not have to roll in and out of these. I'm just finding for myself, I don't know. Sometimes when I add the resistance and move in and out of it, it feels more beneficial to me and safer to me. I don't know. Sometimes when I hold a really, when I just hold, the muscle gets a little angry with me afterwards. So just listen to your body and do what your body is telling you is the best, feels the best for you. I know for some people really enjoy the long holds, and I enjoy it while I'm doing it, but then afterwards, I don't know, just sometimes my muscles get a little cranky. So, all right, so arm out to the right arm out to the side and 90 degrees like a goalpost. Press the elbow in and the hand into the mat and roll open. So for me, it feels good to stretch at this point. And then I just kind of like to push out of it. So, and that's really what initially drew me to resistance stretching, was just the way it felt. Just felt better to me. It's not as visually appealing as yoga, but it just feels better to me. And we're gonna work through a couple more of these and then stretch the arm out to the side. I know I'm spending a lot of times on pecs, but we'll get to some other stuff. So arm straight out to the side. I'm gonna move over. See what I'm doing. Straight out to the side. Press the palm. Bend the knee and roll. Just until you feel that stretch in the bicep, and then roll back again. Just rolling in and out of it. If you are one that wants to take those different hand positions, like doing the diagonal, you sure can. I'm trying to aim for bicep today, so bicep and pec. So just take whichever position you feel is the best for you today, what you're needing. All right. And then next, we're going to start working on the hamstrings. We're going to come back up to our knees. I'm going to grab either blocks or a chair. So it's really up to you, whichever you want to use. If you want to use a chair, then just take it out front. I'm going to pull my heel toward me, pull it toward me, and then keep pulling it toward me and back it up. My hips are going to back up. My toe is going to pull up. And wow, am I tight. Haven't been doing much hamstring stretching at all this week. So hopefully it's going better for you. Otherwise, you can just use your blocks here. Or the floor, hands on the floor is fine too. We're going to do about 4 more. Remember to keep pulling that heel in toward you. And then we're going to pop it up. We're going to pop it up to a high lunge. And you don't have to take your hands, if you're on the chair, you can just keep your hands on the chair. It's fine. You may want to draw the chair a little bit closer to you. Or if you're on a block, just take the block underneath your left hand, and we're going to turn and open like this. And we're going to pull back like almost to a pyramid, a revolved pyramid, and then back into our lunge. So turn as you straighten the leg, and then you can turn back to front if you want to. I'm just going to stay here. This is really not a resistance stretch, but it's a good one. So that's all right. Just so we're moving in and out of it, so it's more of a dynamic stretch rather than a passive. And we'll get to the passive in a moment. I'll show you what we're going to do. So I am going to roll up this blanket, if you have a blanket, or another mat is fine too. Or if you have, like my chair has this bar on the bottom, so I don't really even need it. I'm going to put it right there, and I'm going to put the block on it. I've got the block at a 45-degree angle, like that, right on top of this blanket. And I'm going to put my foot on it. Just like pyramid pose, I've got my back foot, my left foot behind me about 2 or 3 feet. I'm going to square my hips to the front. I'm going to push the ball of my foot into that top block, puff my chest out, and lean forward. Give that a go for maybe 5, lean forward and back. And then we're going to take the hands to the chair and hold it here. And what I want you to do while you're here to really get into that right calf is tip forward. I have this in a bunch of other videos, but this is highly effective in getting into the soleus and the gastrocnemius, both. Okay, and now we're going to switch sides. So I'm going to take the chair and put it on the other side. And take my blanket back here. Blocks forward if you need them. So I'm kneeling again. This is for the central hamstring. I'm going to be pulling my heel toward me the whole time. So pull to drag your body forward and then keep pulling it toward you to back as you back up. Notice the difference on each side. And I've been noticing them a lot because my other leg used to be my favored hamstring for stretching and splits. And I don't know what I've done to it recently, but the past couple of months, this has been my favored leg. So my other leg, my good leg, is yeah, it's no longer my favorite leg. Maybe it's a good thing. I don't know. Maybe my body's finally just evening itself out. I have no idea. And then I have some friends that are into this holistic kind of thought that if you have problems on one side of your body, like if it's your left side, then um, maybe your feminine side, which is your left side, is your feminine side. Maybe you need to, you know, I had a friend that I had at one point. I had all these problems on one side of my body, and she was like, "You need to wear pretty clothes and take a bubble bath and do all these feminine things, and it'll sort itself out." And now I've got all the problems on the other side. So I'm thinking, well, okay, maybe I need to man up and I need to I need to do manly things. I don't know. So we're gonna lift the back leg and start to turn. So if you've got your hands on the chair, you're gonna just keep it there, straighten and bend as we turn the chest. And if you have a block, you're gonna just do it with your hand on the block. I've really never bought into any of that one side of the body, meaning that your feminine or masculine energy is off. Um, I don't know, it just never worked for me. Maybe I never really give it a chance. Okay, one more time. And then we are going to, again, if you've got a rolled up mat or a blanket, you're going to brace it on this chair, put your block at a diagonal, so like that. And I'm going to bring my left foot forward, my right foot back, just like pyramid pose. The back foot is mostly turned to the front, but not all the way. And it doesn't have to be directly behind the front leg. Puff the chest out, press the ball of the foot on the block, lean forward, and back up again. Try to bring the right hip forward and the left hip back if you can. And then we're going to hold, tip up on the toe, and really get into that left calf. So I'm just lifting my heel and back. And this isn't easy for me on this side because I can barely bend my right toe because I've got some osteoarthritis, which I'm sure many of you are familiar with, which is why we need to stretch and move. Oh, great. Okay. We're going to stand up and do a couple of standing figure fours. And since you have your chair here, I'm going to give you the option. You can do it in your chair or not. I just find that the standing one is a little bit more effective. And it's one of my favorites, as you know, because I usually put it in almost every single one of my classes. But if you don't want to do the standing one, you can sit on a chair, cross your ankle over, press your ankle into the chair, puff your chest out, stick your butt out, and lean forward. So this is going to be a lot easier for some of you, especially if you don't really like putting all that much effort into it. But if you would like to do the standing version, then we'll do the standing version. You can hang onto a wall, you can hang onto the chair, and cross your ankle over, press the ankle into the thigh, stick your chest out, puff your hips back, blossom your bottom, and come down into your figure four. I am pressing this ankle into my thigh the entire time I'm doing this, just to maximize the resistance. And also, if I do it that way, if I press the ankle and come back up, I can actually take a lot of the pressure, just the weight out of my right leg. And then switch sides. So we can start in the chair, whichever you prefer, cross the ankle, press the ankle into the thigh, stick the chest out, lean forward and back. So you can either do it this way or standing. So we're going to do 8. If you're standing or starting, press the ankle into the thigh, blossom your bottom, sit and rise. All right. And onward. We're going to move on to some inner thigh. I'm going to move the chair out a little bit. You can put your knee on a block if you like, or on a blanket. I'm going to use a blanket. These are always good things to put underneath your knee if you need extra padding. I use them all the time. For even a low lunge, it's great. So we're going to take the foot out to the side, hands behind the head, interlace the fingers, and pull the fingers apart as you lean to the right. Press the right foot into the mat, and then rise back up. We're going to do 2 more, and the last one, we're going to lean toward the opposite side, and you're going to bring your left hand down, take your right arm up and over. Lift the arm, draw it behind you, open the chest if you can, and then switch sides. So left leg out to the side, press the left foot into the mat, hands behind your back, interlace your fingers the opposite way so the non-dominant fingers go together. Imagine pulling them apart, leaning, pressing the left foot into the mat and back up again. So you should feel these inner thighs working, because you can use the side waist to lift yourself up, the QL, and so your obliques are going to lift you up, or you can use this leg. The more you use a leg, the more inner thigh strengthening and stretching you're going to get there. Two more. And then we're going to go the opposite direction. Hand on the mat and reach up and over. Do the opposite of sticking your butt out. So tailbone is under, belly is in and up. And we're going to take the arm up and open the chest. And rise. We're going to stand again and do triangle. Triangle and I go way back. And I have to say, for my years in Iyengar, which we did triangle like this, very militaristic style. It kind of brings back bad memories, but because we would do that without any warm up, and there was a lot of fear. What am I going to pull today? But we're going to do it resistance stretching style. So I want you to pull my right toes are pointing straight out. So the inside of my right foot is paralleling the lengthwise grain of the mat, and my left foot is angled in just a little bit, so that it's kind of paralleling the short edge of the mat. And I'm just going to place my hands on my hips, and your hips do not have to be turned totally forward. So I want you to actually give yourself a little play in here. And you're going to be pulling the inner thighs together a little bit, leaning into it. You should feel that medial hamstring. And back up again. So just moving in and out of this. Of course, if you want to, you can put your hands behind your head. That's going to give you a little more weight. You can also kind of just give this knee a little micro bend. And as you get deeper into this, maybe take your hands on the shin, maybe to the ankle. And then you're going to work on getting your spine straight and turning the chest and opening. Maybe yours looks like this. Hey, it's okay. Then we're going to back up, turn the right foot forward, the left foot out, in and out, kind of pulling my legs together. I am keeping my spine straight, and my hips are not completely turned toward you. I'm letting my left hip turn, my left leg turn open a little bit. Especially important with women, because women tend to have a little bit or wider hips than men. I think for men this poses a little bit easier, but I don't have that. I don't have wide hips, so I have no excuse. Triangle's not an easy pose. It just isn't. And a couple more, and then you can start reaching toward your shin, your ankle, and open. So now I'm going to work on lengthening my spine, and I'm really feeling that stretch in that medial hamstring. So every yoga pose can be a resistance stretch. It feels better to me to do it that way, but it might not feel better for you. And next, we're going to work through. We're almost done, but we're going to work through revolved triangles. Because if I do triangle, I always want to do revolved, just because it just seems more balanced to me. So you can use the wall to do this. You can get close to the wall, bring 1 foot forward and 1 foot back. If you don't have your wall, you can use your chair. Because I always find that this is easier to do with something to hang on to. So the chair is here. I'm squaring my hips toward the front. I'm going to bring my left hand down. I'm going to turn toward the wall and start bringing it down as much as I can. And you can move in and out of this. I was just kind of going to hold it for a little bit. But if you want to move in and out of it, you can. If you're at the wall is going to really force you to be true, keep the integrity of this pose. If you turn toward the wall, you kind of have to turn a little bit more than you would if you're just doing it on your own. Anyway, I'm going to come back to the chair and do it that way. We don't have to do a whole lot of these, but it is a pose that I know I need. And then switch sides. So I'm turning, reaching for the chair. I'm going to push into the ball of my foot to come back up again, or just hold it here. It's really up to you. Just feels so good for me to move in and out. Maybe it's because I get a little bit of a break. But no, there is some truth to it. You're warming up the muscle. Muscles like to be warmed when they're stretching. Okay, and last but not least, we are going to do quad. So if you want to do this with a chair, that is fine. You can do it either way. So I have demonstrated in the class before, the one where you're on your back and you're going to bring your foot out to the side and cross over, rotate in. This is perfectly fine for a quad stretch. This is a quad stretch, especially if you bring your ankle way up here. You're going to move in and out of it. So you can either do it that way, or you can use your chair or the wall and do your quad stretch like that. I am going to stack up 2 blankets today and get myself up a little bit higher. Foot out to the side. I'm going to rotate so that my foot goes up on the chair. Yikes. I'm super tight today. So you can do it either way, either on your back or with your foot on the chair. I haven't put anything on this chair. Hopefully you're just padded or you've got a blanket on it. You're going to push forward and then back again. Sometimes I like to hold on to the chair while I'm doing this, just like I did, earlier with the hip flexor. Kind of like better than coffee. Just opening the whole front of your body up. Or if you're one of those super flexible people, you can push your foot, you can hold your ankle, push your foot into the hand, take the foot with you. and move in and out of it that way. This is advanced, and this is one of our um, Kihara resistance stretches that is on the level 2 if you have the video. But otherwise, you can just be here. And you can always lean over to the left if you like at the end for additional stretch. And then switch sides. I would just do this for 10 minutes straight if but in the interest of time and um, the fact that you probably don't want to do it for 10 minutes straight, we'll switch sides. So again, if you are doing the one on your back, switch legs, and I'm going to push my foot into the chair, come forward and back. You can also do this at the wall. I'm doing the opposite of sticking my butt out. Again, you can take the foot with you. You can hold onto it with both hands if you're really into it. Take it with you as you lean forward. That's going to give you a maximum stretch in your quad. And if some people just like me, sometimes I just crave it. So do what your body is craving. And then we're going to lean to the right a few times. Again, you can do this at the wall if you like. Yeah. And come down. And that is it for today. Whoever my viewers are out there, thanks for watching. And please like and subscribe. And I'll probably be back next week with another video. If you'd like shorter videos, if you'd like these live ones that are longer, better, just drop me a note in the comments because I have no idea what you guys want other than stretching. Or I don't know whatever. Maybe you like watching people stretch. But anyway, until next time, have a good week, and I will see you probably next Saturday. I'll put it up. I'll try to figure out what day and what time. I don't know what time is good for people either. So you can always live it. You can always stream it later. So anyway, ta ta for now. I'll talk to you later. Bye bye.